So, $3 a day, huh? It sounds almost impossible in today's world, doesn't it? Okay, let's be real. $3 a day for food? That's less than a cup of coffee at most places. Sounds crazy, right? Like ramen noodle every night crazy. But what if it wasn't just ramen? What if there were other options? But I wanted to see if it could be done, not just for a day, but for a whole week. Could I actually survive on such a tight budget? I love food, like really love food. The flavors, the textures, the joy of cooking and eating. Burgers, tacos, sushi, you name it. These are the things that make life delicious. But with the cost of everything going up, I started thinking, how much do I really need to spend to enjoy my meals? Could I eat for less? Way less? Could I find a way to make my dollars stretch further without sacrificing too much? This wasn't about being cheap. It was about understanding how much we actually need versus how much we want. It's about making conscious choices. Could I be more mindful about my food choices? Could I plan better and make smarter decisions? Could I actually save money and still eat? Could I find satisfaction in simplicity? This whole thing? It was a social experiment, a test of willpower, a challenge to see if I could change my habits, a journey into the depths of my pantry and my wallet. Let's do this. Let's see if I can make it work. Day one started with a rumbling stomach and a pot of oatmeal. Yep, oatmeal. Cheap, filling, and surprisingly versatile. Who knew you could add bananas and cinnamon to make it taste like dessert? Lunch was a simple peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Classic, right? But here's the thing. I made it with cheap white bread. None of that fancy multi-grain stuff. Gotta save those pennies. Dinner was the real challenge. Remember that ramen I talked about? Yeah, it made an appearance. But I spiced things up, literally, with some frozen veggies and hot sauce. Not bad. By day 3, I was a ramen cooking master. Soy sauce, check. Sriracha, double check. I even figured out how to poach an egg in the broth. Fancy, right? But here's the thing about eating cheap, you get creative. I started scouring the internet for recipes. Turns out you can make a killer lentil soup with just a few basic ingredients. And beans. Let's talk about beans. Black beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, they're all cheap, filling, and packed with protein. I made bean burritos, bean salads, even bean burgers. Okay, maybe not bean burgers. The great banana compromise. Okay, confession time. By day 5, I was craving something sweet, something other than bananas and cinnamon, but my budget was tight, like, really tight. So, I did what any sane person would do. I went on a mission. A mission to find the cheapest, most delicious treat my $3 could buy. And you know what I found? A bag of apples. Not exactly a chocolate chip cookie, but hey, a win's a win. Besides, apples are good for you, right? That's what I kept telling myself. Wait, I can still eat out? Saturday rolled around and I was starting to feel like a frugal food wizard. I had been cooking at home, saving money and getting creative with my meals. But there was one thing missing. The social aspect of eating. The joy of sharing a meal with friends, the laughter, the conversations. You know, hanging out with friends, trying new foods, all that good stuff. The experience of discovering new flavors and enjoying the company of loved ones. So, I decided to see if I could still eat out on my budget. I wanted to find out if it was possible to enjoy a meal out without spending too much. And guess what? I could. It was all about making smart choices and finding affordable options. Sure, I couldn't afford a fancy steak dinner with all the trimmings and the high price tag, but I could swing a dollar menu burger or a slice of pizza. These simple meals were just as satisfying when shared with friends. It wasn't about the food itself, it was about the experience, the connection, and the memories we were creating. It was about being out with friends, sharing a meal, and enjoying each other's company. The laughter, the stories, the bond, and proving that you don't need to break the bank to enjoy yourself. With a little creativity and planning, you can still have a great time and make wonderful memories. Several grand in the bank, baby. By the end of the week, I was tired of ramen. I mean, who wouldn't be after eating the same thing day in and day out, like really tired of ramen? It felt like I was living in a never-ending noodle nightmare. But you know what I wasn't tired of? Saving money. Because guess what? I did it. I managed to stick to my budget and save more than I thought possible. I survived on $3 a day for 7 whole days. It wasn't easy, but it was definitely worth it. That's about $21 for the entire week. It might not sound like much, but every little bit adds up. Now imagine doing that for a year. It sounds crazy, but think about the potential savings. That's just over $1,000 spent on food for an entire year. I could save thousands that could go towards something more exciting. Think of all the things you could do with that extra money in your pocket. a vacation, new gadgets, or even investing in something meaningful. Look, I'm not saying you need to live off ramen and oatmeal forever. That would be a bit extreme and not very enjoyable. But this experiment taught me a valuable lesson. It showed me that with a bit of effort, you can make significant savings. It's possible to eat well on a budget. You don't have to sacrifice quality for cost. It just takes a little planning, a little creativity, and a whole lot of willpower. With these tools, you can achieve your financial goals without feeling deprived.